Hey there, 𝗕𝗏𝗴𝗏 here, and today we're going to take a look at two different multi-tools that I like to use in my EDC kits. As always, I thank you for your time here. I'm going to have links for both of these products. Some of these come from both, you can get them on either Temu or Amazon. Again, links down in the description. If you buy through those links, certainly will help me out a little bit, maybe a penny or two, I'm not sure. But I always appreciate that, and certainly it helps out. Every little bit helps. What I wanted to say was both of these tools are what I use in my EDC kit. So I've got several videos. This is one of my own personal kind of home around the house EDC kits. And I would have one of those multi-tools in here. I also make some kits for my family and friends, and actually purchase these are going to go into this kit here for a friend for a gift. And the reason I prefer the one-armed multi-tools, whereas almost everybody is just looking at the two arms with the pliers on the end, is because almost every kit that I make, and really every kit that I make now, I use the 𝗕𝗂𝗹𝗵𝗵𝗵 pliers in here, the little 5-inch. That's what these are. And I have found, I've yet to find, having used these for quite a while now, months, that I have never needed a pair of needle nose pliers. That the 𝗕𝗂𝗹𝗵𝗵𝗵 pliers have done every job and really have outperformed. If I would have had only needle nose pliers, I would have been in trouble. There were quite a few jobs around the house, around the camper, the bus, and even around the vehicle, where these adjustable 𝗕𝗂𝗹𝗵𝗵𝗵s are really came in very handy, saved my life. So the other problem is you run out of space very quick. These are not large pouches, obviously, and I need to try to maximize the utility I want to get out of each and every pouch. And it just fits so perfectly. There's a band right there I can slide that multi-tool into, and it's out of the way. But it offers a couple of additional tools that really complement these kits, and tools that I don't have otherwise in the kit. So we're going to take a look at those. But there are two different models, as you can obviously see. This one is under the brand 𝗕𝗏𝗏. I think these both actually came from Temu, although I'll tell you they sell them both on Amazon as well. You can get them in black or in silver. They're almost identical, although you will notice some differences. You can see what I'm going to call the scales, the outsides of these multi-tools, the openings in here. So they've made that a little different, albeit the same core shape. They've just cut out a couple of different holes. Otherwise, they've also changed the lock releases, the lock mechanism, plastic buttons on that part. But if you flip over here, you will see they're basically all the same shape, the same size. They do have one different tool in each of them. The main reason, of course, they both have blades. The blades are not going to be very sharp. I don't even know what the steel is. My wife would call that sharp, but I'm going to tell you it will not cut paper. I've tried it, done it. I will probably sharpen this up before I put it in the kit, but I always put a real pocket knife into my kits. So this is really just a kind of an emergency backup beater knife. Maybe if you need to cut some twist ties, you've got to cut some rubber hoses, and you don't want to, wear down your good pocket knife. Whatever, kind of brutal uses you might put a knife through. I might even pry with this thing because it's just not that high quality of a knife. It does lock out. There's a lock mechanism here on the side, so it does lock. I'm not sure I would trust my life on it, but it locks good enough for, again, just the uses that you're going to have. This is an emergency backup knife. Nothing important about that. I'll sharpen it up just so it's a little handier. These scissors, however, are rock stars. And one of the things, I'll show it to you on the black pair, that I always look for in the product photo pictures, again, I'll have links down below, are these sharpening edges here, where you can see the light reflecting tells me that they have sharpened the angles on those scissors. These will cut through 550 cord, no problem at all, without fraying, just snip right through it. So fantastic pair of scissors, and that was the core thing that I was looking for to add to my kit. I have, if you can see, I've got videos on all the different EDC kits, that I just showed you. I do have a little pair of silver stainless steel scissors in there, but those really won't even cut through. They might be great for trimming your hair, before you walk into an appointment, but they won't cut through 550 cord. So these are pretty heavy duty scissors, and so I like that. They do lock just like the blade does, so you can flip that back. Then on the back side, there are three different tools. two of which are virtually identical, but that's where this tool begins to differ. So again, it has the exact same knife, looks the exact same, locks the exact same, has the exact same scissors. There's the knife side. Scissors are the exact same. You just lock them out. And you can see, as I mentioned on this pair a little more easily because of the contrast with the black, how one side of each of these scissors have been really sharpened down to a good fine point. So those work great. The difference is now when you compare the two knives, this one has a saw blade, which is a little different than the saw blade here. We'll look at that in a second. They both have the exact same, more or less, can opener, bottle opener / wire stripper down there in the bottom. There's a little hole you could strip wires. Silver one's going to be a little better. You can see it's been sharpened a little bit down there. But then the main difference is that the black one has a metal file on it, and this would have been great. It's a double-sided file on that side. It's a single on this side, but the problem is the coating, the black coating or paint, whatever they put on here, is just filled in those holes enough to where it won't even really file your fingernails. So if you needed to use this in an emergency, you'd have to do a lot of filing to wear away the paint first, and then that file might be useful. Whereas on the silver pair here, they don't have a file. They instead have a nice serrated blade. And that, to me, is probably more valuable because if I'm out and about, again, this is something that I'm going to carry with me in my car if we're out, camping or playing in the woods, which we do a lot around here. Maybe I'm out at my fishing hole and I need something that's going to cut through some rope handily. This serrated blade should do a good job. It's fairly sharp, obviously serrated. Sharp as such a cheap pocket knife can be, that'll work just fine, I think. And so that's a little more valuable to me. Let me lock that out. Finally, I want to show you the difference between these saw blades. Let me see if I can stack them together and get my hand behind this to focus in. You can see the black one has much taller teeth. They both have kind of that double row, right side, left side thing going on. The silver pair here are much shorter teeth, although I think that they'll cut a little bit better. These, I do not see myself ever chopping down a tree with this. You might be able to saw through maybe a 1 or 2 inch diameter branch with a little bit of work, and both of these would probably do that. To me, this is more likely something where a hose on the bus or the car breaks and you've got to cut through like a stiff rubber hose to repair it or reconnect it somewhere or repair a break of some sort. Cutting through some kind of really tough material like that, that's where I think this saw blade would actually be truly useful and probably more likely than me needing one of these little saw blades to cut down a tree of any size. I guess certainly if you gave this to a kid and we're out camping, he would probably have an absolute field day cutting as much wood as you could possibly burn all night long. So if you bought this for one of your children, they would probably have a blast with that saw. Me, I don't see a whole lot of use out of it, again, unless it's like a hard rubber hose use. They both do have the glass breaker tips on the end. You can take that off if you want to take it off, and that's it. They both have the exact same size pocket clip, the same style. You can see they're both basically the exact same clips. So there's kind of a tale of two different multi-tools. Again, the reason I prefer these over the plier style is for space savings, because it makes a big difference when I'm trying to pack a lot of different tools into a kit like this. I'll usually have a pocket knife here. I've got some other tools, so this one isn't quite done yet. So I will fill up these two last slots. That just really leaves this back end here, and it's just not big enough. If I tried to put that pliers style in there, it just wouldn't fit. Really hard to close, and I don't need them, again, because I like the 𝗕𝗂𝗡𝗃s, and they have done everything I've ever needed them to do, and I have just never needed for just only an exclusive pair of needle nose pliers. I always have them at home. Obviously, everybody does in their toolbox if that's needed. So just want to share these two. Again, links are down below. The cost, both of these should be certainly under $20, but I've got both of these, I think, at either $10 or $12. So they're really cheap. They're very inexpensive. If you see them on Temu and you can afford to wait, the extra few days that it takes for Temu to send you stuff, just wait and put it in your shopping cart. Don't buy it yet, and you will find magically in a few days they will somehow magically drop the price down to around $10 to $12, and you can pick up a pair or two at that point in time. Otherwise, I do think that they are worth it. Certainly worth $10 to $15, and especially to round out a good EDC kit or pouch that's going to have other tools in it. This certainly is the perfect complement to the toolkit that I'm building. And again, you can see those those pouches and toolkits that I built in my other videos here on the channel. As always, I thank you very much and appreciate your time. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.